DSS arraigned suspended CBN governor over illegal possession of firearms. Troops killed 7 suspected terrorists to recover machine gun motorcycles in Zamfara. 2 kidnappers killed, 1 rescued in Kogi State. On the foreign scene, 30 killed in Algeria wildfire. These are the headlines on Trust News Update. Welcome. I am Ayuba Ilya. And now the details. The Department of State Services DSS on Tuesday arraigned the suspended governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, before a federal high court in Lagos for illegal possession of firearms. Emefiele pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of illegal possession of firearms and ammunition. His counsel, Joseph Daudu, moved bail application for the defendant, but the Deputy Director of Prosecution, Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, N.B. Jones, says that they are yet to be served with the bail application and that they seek to give a formal response to the bail request. Now, troops of Sector 1 Operation Hadarin Daji, in conjunction with troops deployed at the Forward Operating Base, Wanke District in Gusau local government area of Zamfara State, have killed no fewer than 7 armed bandits, while several others fled with gunshot wounds. Eyewitness explained that the gallant troops organized an ambush operation along the route suspected to be used by the terrorists after they got information on a planned attack on troops in Wanke District of Gusau local government area of Zamfara State. The commander of the Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Hadarin Daji, Major General Godwin Mutkut, commended the troops for their bravery and resilience in dealing with the armed bandits. The Kogi State Police Command says its operatives, in a joint operation with the local vigilante in Ijumu local government area, killed 2 kidnappers and rescued 1 victim. The Police Command's Public Relations Officer, SP William Aya, in a statement on Tuesday, said that the feat was achieved through intelligence-led operation in the areas. He added that in the course of the operation, the operatives recovered 1 AK-49 rifle with 14 rounds of live ammunition. Aya said that the move was in compliance with the directive of the Commissioner of Police, Kogi State Police Command, Onoha Bertrand, to sustain the tempo on the ongoing onslaughts against criminal elements and to deny them safe haven in the state. Civil society groups under the aegis of the Edo civil society organizations have taken to the streets of Benin City, the state capital, in protest against the recent hike in fuel prices. They walked through some major streets and condemned the increase and the high cost of governance in Nigeria. According to them, the new National Assembly members are made to share huge sums running into billions of naira to improve their working conditions, while the downtrodden groan under the new fuel regime. Carrying placards with several inscriptions, the Edo civil society groups also rejected the proposed 8,000 naira palliative by the federal government following the removal of the petrol subsidy. One of the protesters, Olu Martins, insisted that the federal government should have put the necessary palliatives in place before going ahead with the new policies. The Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, Blessing Agbebaku, who addressed the protesters at the Assembly complex, called for calm, saying he is on the same page with the activists over the proposed palliatives. Still, in light of the hardship being experienced by Nigerians as a result of the removal of fuel subsidy, the Kwara State government has announced multi-million naira palliatives across sectors for people of the state. Briefing journalists, the chief press secretary to the governor, Rafiu Ajakaye, says that the palliative cut across monthly cash support for public workers, cash backing for promotions and distribution of free food, among others. The report.
According to the Chief Press Secretary, such palliatives include cash support of 10,000 naira for public sector workers, effective this month, as well as the reintroduction of the suspended 3 working days schedule, excluding essential workers.
His Excellency has approved what I will call a slew of multi-billion naira palliatives to neutralize the effect of recent removal of fuel subsidy. This cuts across different sectors, MDAs, and of course, different demographics. It is not just limited to public sector workers. The palliatives also seek to support members of the public generally.
Ajakaye also informed that while the governor approved for the Kwara State Social Investment Program to activate a 500 million naira worth of conditional support for petty traders, approval was also given for the distribution of free food to poor and vulnerable households to be activated in the next few days. He said a committee will be set up to interface with leaders of market men and women on how to tackle the challenges of increasing prices of foodstuff.
Meanwhile, we'll be setting up a committee to interface with marketers on the need to curb extortionist tendencies as seen in arbitrary fixing of prices of foodstuff. This practice imposes hardship on everyone. Every member of society feels the hardship as a result of this practice. The government will be willing to collaborate with the patriotic market leaders.
The governor, according to his spokesman, identifies with the president for his strong commitment to sustainable economic reforms and well-being of Nigerian people.
The National Assembly Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Asaba has declared Ndudi Elumelu of the PDP as the winner of the 2023 House of Representatives election for Aniocha Ishimili Federal Constituency. Now, the tribunal, in a judgment on Monday, nullified the victory of Ngozi Okoli as declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission. The tribunal held that Ngozi Okoli was not duly sponsored by the Labour Party as he was not a member of the party as of May 28, 2022, when the party's primary was purportedly held. The lead lawyer to Labour Party, Chike Onyenemem, SAN, said that, who spoke off camera, said that the party and its candidate will appeal the judgment.
And Section 65 and 66 of the Constitution require that for a person to be qualified to contest election into the House of Representatives, he must belong to a political party and must be sponsored by that political party. So in this instance, Honorable Ngozi Okoli, the tribunal found that he was not duly sponsored.
Vice President Kashim Shettima says that the new government's Renewed Hope agenda will fund healthcare delivery and engage in local manufacture of health products, including equipment. He added that the resident doctors across the country will be paid as well. The Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, stated this during the commissioning of key projects and foundation laying of health centers at the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital in Borno. The Vice President expressed, represented by the Special Advisor to the President on Health, Dr. Salma Ibrahim, commissioned Child Institute, 150-bed capacity female hostel, radiology extension and foundation laying of ICT and heart centers.
We also want to focus on local manufacturing of health products, medicines, equipment, and supplies. We will proactively expand insurance coverage. The government commits to reach at least minimum of 50 million Nigerians by 2027. Thirdly, also another burning issue within our institution is the payment of the resident doctors. This has been approved.
Now I'm going to the possibility to sustain this beautiful works that have been done. The right technologies, artificial intelligence, robots, data science, the internet of things that are now defining every aspect of human existence must be included in that issue of universal education. There is a good chance the University of Education the future.
The hospital, I will say in a nutshell, provides services for 33 million people of the northeastern Nigeria. It's the highest referral center in this region. And many patients come for services from Niger, Cameroon, and the Republic of Chad. The level of patronage in the last few years have increased to 150%. We really wanted to make the hospital to be the largest hospital in the West African sub-region. That's number one. Number two, we do not want to refer our patient to most common procedures in any other hospital within the country. Thirdly, we want to embark on standard researches that is oriented towards solving the problems of our community. When we took over in 2018, these were the three things that we put at the back of our mind.
The Registrar of the Optometrist and Dispensing Opticians Registration Board of Nigeria, Obinna Awaka, has identified uncorrected refractive errors as the leading cause of blindness and visual impairment in Nigeria. He is therefore advocating regular eye checkup as solution. The optometrist stated this in Asaba, where various ways of improving eye care were discussed with the state government. They said that the prevalence of blindness in Nigeria stands at 0.78%, amounting to millions of people.
The leading cause of blindness actually in the world is refractive error. It's called uncorrected refractive error, whereby a lot of people have not made it a priority to go and examine their eyes, something you are expected to do at least 1 year. You're also expected to examine your eyes before you start primary school, before you go into school. But a lot of people are not doing that. Schools are not enforcing that. Facilities are not enforcing that. If we can enforce that, we'll be able to ensure that blindness is reduced. The healthcare system is not necessarily only about the medical doctors. We have other players, and that is where the optometrists come to play, because without us, the visual system will not be catered for.
The pride of place of optometrists, particularly in Nigeria, has not been fully met, particularly in public service, where majority of our people, particularly at the grassroots, can access easily. We're looking at cost implication, and that is why even one of the projects, one of the key goals, Millennium Development Goals of World Blindness Prevention Committee, is that nobody should go blind needlessly.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we take a look at negative impact of social media. Details and more after the break.
Hello guys, welcome to Showtime.
I don't even believe there's any other industry that will handle me like movie industry.
Yeah.
I told you I'm deep and soaked into movie industry.
In secondary school, there's Fatima and Mariam Adamu, and then we sort of took the names of the characters in that cartoon.
I think entertainers themselves need to wake up and smell the coffee and say, diversification is the way to go. Yes, you can sing or make great beats or act in a film, but what else can you do?
I became one of the best makeup artists in Nigeria. I won AMA Award Best Makeup Artist.
Do you think we are I need to fool you when I talk to you? You start straight. Attention!
Welcome back. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Here's a look at the top stories. DSS arraigns suspended CBN governor over illegal possession of firearms. Troops kill 7 suspected terrorists, recover machine gun motorcycles in Zamfara. In other news, Sunday evening's torrential rain have left several residents of Olodo, Galilee and its environs homeless, as the only link bridge connecting the community, which borders Osun State, has been washed away by floods. Travelers and motorists are not left out of this sad experience, as many of them have had to abort their trips, while others have been left stranded. They are therefore calling on the government to revoke the ongoing bridge construction and re-award it to a more competent handler. The report.
It is a sad tale of sorrow, regret and despair for residents of Olodo, a border community with Osun State, whose only connecting bridge has been washed up following Sunday's heavy downpour, which lasted for several hours. This community, which links Lalukpon and Iwo town in Osun State, is no stranger to annual floods, as most residential buildings here have been constructed on the drainage path. This led the state government to construct this link bridge, which has now caved in to the current of the flowing water.
Getting worse. Like me now, I get in around 2-3 yes this morning. I'm still going to my work now. This is really affecting the boat in everything we are doing.
They did not do their right things. They do give them the floor something from the Abuja. They don't used to do our content something is very, very bad.
Businesses have been adversely affected by this disaster, while many residents have been dislodged from their places of abode since Sunday night. These aggrieved Nigerians want government to urgently provide alternative routes to ease movement of persons, goods and services.
They need to take a quick measure. They need to take urgent steps to alleviate suffering of the people. Yesterday, some people slept on this road.
This road now. Yesterday, we are the one that threw this road yesterday. I left here around 2:30 this morning, trying to help people, trying to sort people out. Please, this thing, look at the way they did this bridge. Look at the iron they use, 12 mm, 60 mm.
This shocking experience has attracted government officials, safety experts, as well as the chairman of Egbeda local government area, who wants the state government to come to his aid so that life can return to normal for the now helpless citizenry.
We want the government to help us, and we want them to do to find solution to it in time. Because it's not even business that we have it. Our standard of living and everything.
We have explained so many times to the governor, to the government, but they haven't done anything about it. The only thing now is to call the federal government or World Bank to assist this area.
We are going to look for immediate palliative. By the time we create a immediate palliative for the people, we should be able to focus on it squarely so that we are able to get a sustainable and lasting solution to the problem.
Meanwhile, the Oyo State government has assured residents of Olodo and its environs that it would ensure that it immediately commences total reconstruction of the damaged bridge, which was destroyed by Sunday's downpour in Ibadan. Briefing his men, Chief Press Secretary to the state governor, Olanrewaju Suleiman, explained that government was deeply saddened by the collapse of the link bridge, which had brought untold hardship to the people.
Already, the team that went to Olodo Bridge found out another route through which people can pass to the other side. And once that has been found, the government has decided to shut down first that bridge because it's already weak, so that people can take the alternative route to continue to the other side.
Experts here have raised safety concerns regarding the remaining portion of the bridge, which has been left open for pedestrians. They say to avoid a disaster, the bridge should be totally cordoned off to avert avoidable loss of lives.
Residents of Makurdi, the Benue State capital, have decried the negative impact of social media and the alleged failure of government to regulate its operations in the country. As a result, young folks have decided to capitalize on the social media platforms for negative reasons, a situation that has led to a further deterioration in the values of ethnic groups in Nigeria. Jimmy Azande reports.
Nigerians on the streets of Makurdi agree that the social media should propagate positive cultural values and not the conception of many youths who prefer to explore the negative aspects of the social media applications.
The space is unregulated. And because it is not regulated, everybody is an author. And then every kind of information is flying over there. And so it's difficult to regulate. It's difficult. Because can we say there are channels that are teaching cultural values? There are sites on social media that are dedicated to teaching cultural values. That's one point. Will young people be ready to patronize such sites? That is another point. And from all indications, they are not ready. The things that interest us young people now, which we find on social media, are not those that promote our own cultures.
Some media influencers said there's a lot of bullying that goes on because of the lack of proper regulations.
So the government needs lots and lots of things to do in terms of educating those that are actively involved in social media, so that certain informations, especially informations that borders on the integrity of the country, the national unity, or that are likely to create tension, should be regulated, when it's put on the social media. Or the practitioner should be guided properly and educated on certain informations they need to put out there or not to put out there. I think with that, it will go a long way in checkmating abuses on social media.
Others said the government must address the issues of unemployment to control social media rascality.
It's because of lack of jobs that everybody has taken to social media to make ends meet. If there are jobs, there are some graduates who, for 10 years, they have never seen a little employment, and they have to take to social media to create problems and unweigh problems. They tell lies to be able to get what they want. They can now tell you in the social media, tell you there's going to be a coup d'etat today or tomorrow. And you say, I have told you, it's a bottomless issue.
Despite its merit, all agreed that the social media, if not tamed, is another early warning sign of a major societal crisis in waiting. Jimmy Azande, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has said that Nigeria is mobilizing over $500 million for innovative, profitable, equitable and sustainable food systems transformation initiative. The Vice President made the disclosure while chairing a high-level meeting on the first day of the UN Food Systems Summit declared open in Rome, Italy, by the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres. This was contained in a statement signed by Olusola Abiola, the Director of Information in the Office of the Vice President. Vice President Shettima said that the funds were mobilized through domestic resources, multilateral development banks, international financial institutions, climate funds, leading agro-businesses, and will be used for innovation finance for food system, transformation, development of Nigeria's agro-value chain, and special agro-industrial processing zones programs. More than 30 people have been killed in wildfire that are raging across Algeria. Those killed include 10 soldiers who were trying to get the flames under control in the face of high winds and scorching summer temperatures. At least 1,500 people were evacuated. Operations to tamp down the fires included some 7,500 firefighters and 350 trucks on the ground, as well as air support. At least 37 people were killed last August after wildfires blazed near its northern border with Tunisia. Still on the foreign scene, a magnitude 5.5 earthquake shook the southern Turkish province of Adana, striking just under 6 months after the devastating quakes that killed more than 50,000 people in Turkey and Syria. The Kandili Earthquake Monitoring Center in Istanbul said that the quake occurred at 8 a.m. on Tuesday. Its epicenter was in the district of Kozan, about 64 kilometers from the city of Adana and located near the Syrian border. The European Mediterranean Seismological Center said that the earthquake was at depth of 12 kilometers, and that's 7.46 miles. No injuries or damage have been reported so far. And that's it for the news update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.